Hi, I'm Dan Goodicants, Superintendent of the Needham Public Schools.
Hi, I'm Kate Fitzpatrick, Town Manager for the Town of Needham.
And I'm Andrea Longo-Carter, School Committee Chair. Last Friday morning, Dan called me as I was pulling into the grocery store parking lot. I knew immediately it wasn't with good news. COVID has upended our lives, and the new normal feels anything but. We aren't starting school as planned on Monday because we need additional time to finish ventilation and maintenance work in each of our schools. We did not delay our reopening because of pressure from the Needham Education Association for a remote start to school, nor so we could have additional time to negotiate with our teachers and staff. We are in the final stages of reaching agreement with the NEA on how we will operate our schools this year. Teachers and staff will be meeting in the next few days to vote on these agreements, and the school committee will review and vote on them at our meeting next Tuesday. I cannot stress how complicated it has been to figure all of this out. In the hybrid model, we are essentially doubling the number of classrooms with the same number of teachers. And for our fully remote students, we have effectively created a 9th school. As part of this, we have weighed different options and prioritized some things over others. Implicitly, we believe the benefits of in-person school outweigh the costs of what we are giving up. When school resumes next week, not everyone will agree we made the right choices. Parents are going to wonder, why on earth did they do this? If you think we have gotten something really wrong, please email the school committee and let us know. I can't promise we can change things, but I can promise we will ask questions and make sure we understand them. Reopening our schools during this pandemic comes at a significant financial cost. We currently anticipate a shortfall of between $1.5 and $2 million relative to the budget approved by town meeting in June. We're going to work closely with our town manager, the finance committee, and town meeting so that we have the funds we think are necessary to operate our schools safely this year. When I realized we'd be taping this message on September 11th, I started to think how people respond to terrible events. Sometimes our response is ugly, but sometimes it can be inspiring. As we continue to slog through this pandemic, and let's be clear, it is a slog, we need to draw on all of our strength to see the good and to be the good, and I am no expert at this. But I encourage each of you to pause before you judge, complain, or criticize. We don't know all that is happening behind the scenes or in someone else's home. We're going to be at this for a while, and no matter how difficult and frustrating things get, I hope we can model some of the qualities we hope for in our children: positivity, caring, respect, and resilience. And now let me turn things over to our town manager, Kate Fitzpatrick.
Thank you, Andrea. It's my privilege to address you, to talk to you about the maintenance and custodial work that we've been embarked on really for the past 6 months. As soon as the schools were closed, we've been working in the buildings. The situation has really continued to evolve in terms of the standards that we're trying to meet in terms of cleanliness and ventilation. I wanted to assure you that we have an amazing group of people working many, many hours on the issue of ventilation. We're in every school every day. We're literally looking at all of the spaces in every school. Some of them are very big schools, some of them are new, some of them are old. The problems that we've identified and that we're working to correct are very different. We have teams of people. We have 2 of our project managers on loan to building maintenance. All of our building maintenance folks are dedicated almost entirely to this project at this point right now. And they're working every day to run the numbers, and we have contracted vendors. I think about 5 of them at this point going through the schools, correcting the things that need to be corrected, and making actually enhancements to our system so that we can increase the ventilation in the rooms that we need to do that, and to identify other ways that we can increase airflow into our spaces, because that is one of the issues that has been identified as one of our top priorities. We've also identified a rapid response team so that during the school year, if there's an HVAC issue that's been identified, we have a team of people, we have a very clear process, and we'll be responding immediately to those situations. We've increased our contracted staffing for maintenance and ventilation, and as also in terms of cleaning. We have increased the custodial staff and other available staff to really make sure that the high-touch surfaces are treated and that we can get the schools and keep them as clean as we need to keep them. I wanted to make sure it was clear that getting the schools open for our students as soon as possible in a safe way is a top priority of the town, and we're working on it, and we really believe that we've thrown all the resources at it that we can possibly do.
Well, with great thanks to Kate, our town manager, and to Andrea, our school committee chair, for their leadership, support, and guidance on the reopening of schools, I'd like to let families know that our teachers and staff are ready for learning to begin next Monday, September 14th. So we're starting the school year differently than we had planned, and we appreciate your patience and flexibility as we work together to educate Needham's young people. During these first 2 weeks of school, all teachers are focused on building relationships and building capacity for learning, especially within a remote learning environment. Teachers will take the time to get to know students, outline plans for success, and establish norms and expectations, all in an effort to promote a strong academic experience for each student. Your child's principal has probably already communicated with you about plans for next week, or will within the next day, and you'll get specific information from them about learning from home, and they'll share details about what's important for you to know for a successful start. General information around school health and safety, technology, nutrition services, and other areas of interest are included in the email containing this video. Additionally, I've included a frequently asked questions link to provide more detail. Allow me to share some key expectations for all families and students. First, beginning next Monday, teachers will be taking attendance for all students. Students should be prepared to log on for the first day of classes at the time provided by the principal and staff. Parents and caregivers should, of course, always contact the school if a child is sick and will not be present for learning. Second, when we do begin in-person schooling on Tuesday, September 29th, we will ask that all parents attest to their child's health. We do not want anyone to come to school who has a temperature or is not feeling well. It will be critical for parents, school staff, and students to work together in the coming year to stay healthy and safe. We want students to be accountable for their schoolwork and their attendance. However, more importantly this year, we want you to focus on your health and well-being. This third expectation is especially directed to students. When you do return to the school building, it will be essential for you to wear your mask and maintain physical distancing as directed by the school staff. There have been recent stories about high school-age students in particular who have partied and gathered and then tested positive for COVID-19. If that happens once we return to the school building, it will impact everyone. Even now, while you are out and about in the community, please mask up. And finally, let me acknowledge that this is the most unusual of new school years. Students will meet their teachers and classmates for the first time online before they get a chance to meet them in person on September 29th. And when students do return to the building, school will look a little different. There are certain stairs to go up or down. Desks have been set apart and are facing forward. There'll be fewer students in the building, and everyone will be masked up, of course. It will look different, but underneath it all, new friends, school spirit, creative energy, talented young people, and caring adults will all still be present and eager to work together. That part has not changed. The buildings have been closed, but our hearts and minds remain open for Needham's young people. We are indeed ready to begin learning next Monday, and we can't wait to see you. And in the next couple weeks, let's work together, families, staff, and students, to build new relationships and build capacity for learning in a wonderfully different and exciting new school year. Thank you. And thanks to Andrea Longo-Carter and Kate Fitzpatrick.